Hello and welcome to Musical Musings. I'm your host for this episode, Jack Brittle.
I'm Callum O'Malley.
And I'm Jamie Byers.
Basically, each week one of us will pick a song to share with each other and with you at home. We'll direct you to the song we chose in the description of the episode so you can check it out for yourself. Afterwards, we'll analyze the song and talk about what we liked, didn't like, and our general thoughts on it. Today's song is Oh My This Side by Travis Scott featuring Quavo. Check it out now and we'll be right back. All right, that was Oh My This Side by Travis Scott featuring Quavo. What did you guys think?
Oh, you want me to start?
I would prefer that.
I mean, I listened to some Travis Scott. Like, I've definitely heard this song, but I've never listened to it with the intention of analyzing it. So, yeah, I guess I never really, took in the fact that it's kind of sounds like two songs merged into one, or, two separate songs kind of pushed together, but they still sound like they go together.
Right.
I don't think that either of them would be as good if they stood alone.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Travis has a couple songs like that. There's another song from this album, Rodeo, called Maria, I'm Drunk, which is the same thing. It's like the first part is Maria, the second part is I'm Drunk. Yeah, and I like songs that have like multiple sections, but Callum?
There is one thing I can really appreciate about this song. And when my partner and I talk about music and I say I don't like rap, sometimes she just says like, well, you haven't tried it enough, you haven't experimented enough. And this song gives me a really good thing to point to and say, I've listened to this and I still hate this.
That's your appreciation note?
Yeah, that was not my favorite.
So what didn't you like about it?
It's how
simplistic?
I'm trying to think of how blunt I should be about it.
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. It's really repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two distinct parts, but I'm going to compare this song to something like Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day. The distinct parts of Jesus of Suburbia are so different from one another that that feels like four different songs. Mm. Maybe I just don't know rap very well, but that didn't sound like two songs to me. It just sounded like one. I mean, you point out the part where it swapped vocalists.
Right. Well, there's two different flows, I should point out.
Yeah, there's different
it
vibes to the
picks
two
up.
sections,
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know how, I don't feel like I'm talking down to you, but
No, you are, because I don't know this shit. I am the Neanderthal in this situation.
With rap music, the rhythm in which you speak is called a flow.
Yeah.
Right. So different flows, that would be something that differentiates the two sections, and then also the instrumental, right? The instrumental changes. It slows down in pace.
I feel like the first part kind of went harder, and then the second part was a little bit more vibey.
Yeah.
They'll
I
just
don't know
pick
how
up
else to describe
when
Quavo.
Quavo.
I'm thinking of Quavers. Get a pack of Quavers this weekend. When Quavers, sorry, shit.
When the British
Get it together.
I'm hungry.
that we import.
Yeah. When he started singing, that felt kind of like a different song. But I did struggle to even differentiate. He starts saying different things, but I didn't notice the beats change. Mm-hmm. But when it changed who was singing entirely, that felt like a different song.
Right. You can also differentiate it by, instead of them going, oh my, they're going on this side.
Well, that's what I mean. That still sounds like the same song. They're just saying something different.
Right.
They just changed the chorus to me.
Well, yeah. And I think that it's certainly valid and obviously accurate that the song is very repetitive, but I think that's just par for the course for this kind of music.
Yeah, which might be why I don't generally like this kind of music. Is
right.
That it's, I mean, and of course, there are other types of music I do like that have a lot of repetition in it as well, but I don't know. There's something about the tone and the pacing and the repetitiveness that kind of almost feels like droning. Mm-hmm. To compare this kind of rap to something like the rap in Linkin Park, mm-hmm. well, that's active and upbeat and it's almost angrier. Mm-hmm. That, while I don't love those sections of those songs, in the end, it's a lot of rap, but it's still going along with the music in an upbeat, forward kind of way. I don't know how to describe it best than that, but this kind of felt almost made for background music.
Yeah.
This sounds like it should be playing in the background, in the background of a video game being shown at E3. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's the new Cyberpunk DLC, and this music should play in the background. Yeah. I can't imagine listening to this. Well, I can. I just listened to it twice. Yeah. But it was not pleasant listening to it twice with nothing else to see.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be it's meant to create a vibe and a feel, and it's, you know, and that's why, you know, I mean, we did listen a second time to follow along with the lyrics, but, and you know, I think
which did help.
Yeah, and I think they do paint a picture.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it's not something where it's like super lyrical or super deep. And some rap is that. But I think the mistake a lot of people make is thinking that all rap is like that, where it's not. Like there is lyrical rap, and then there's rap that is just meant to be. It's almost like the voice is an instrument.
Yeah.
And that's where I wanted to go in and get your guys' opinion on, because I already know your opinion on it, but Travis Scott is known for using a lot of auto-tune in his music. And, well, what did you think of it, Callum?
Wait, before we get into it, I'm not sure, does Travis Scott have any music where he doesn't auto-tune?
I think there's a couple songs. Yeah.
Anyways, Callum, your thoughts?
I didn't notice it at first. And then, but like we stopped the song, we took a few moments, and then Jack said, "Now, like, listen for this, listen for like the key change and the vocalist change and the auto tune." And I was like, "I didn't know there was auto tune." And we'll listen to it again.
His voice just sounds like that. Oh my god,
there's so much auto tune.
Yeah, it's drenched
it's
in
actually
auto-tune.
Funny enough, without auto tune, I like it way more.
Really?
Like there are parts where let me pull the lyrics again, because there's sections of the song that weren't bad. Like in between him saying "oh my" a lot of the beginning, he'll like, I think when he says "I've been up for a long time,"
yeah,
like that's just his voice, and it's like low and mellow and nice. And then it goes into weird computerized, like almost sounds like it's clipping. It sounds like it's mixed wrong. To my untrained, uninitiated rap ears. Like the only time in the kind of music that I listen to that I would hear an effect like that is if somebody has done something wrong.
Okay.
Like going for that intentionally just sounds kind of weird to me.
Right.
And while it's not grating, it just sounds off.
Yeah, it's definitely his trademark.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's part of his brand, if you will.
Yeah, it's the part of the Travis Scott oeuvre, you know.
I don't know what that means.
I think it works. I like it.
Yeah. I think that it again, it's like, you know, obviously when auto-tune was invented, it was more so, you know, thought of as like, oh, this is something to just correct your voice, correct your pitch. But I think that what you saw with, and Kanye was kind of the person who like pioneered this, was using it as just a vocal effect and something that creates just a different, something different to add to the kind of sound palette.
It's just like hitting a pedal on a guitar when you're doing a solo to add more distortion and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like as an idea of just adding a distortion to a voice and using the voice like an instrument, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just not for you.
Yeah, it just sounds incorrect for some reason.
That's fair. I guess the other thing we talked about, well, you talked about Quavo, I guess, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. I liked his section a little bit more because it was a little more like, I'm awake now, not just like...
Well, he was also doing the ad-libs. I don't know if you know what those are.
Yes. He was the guy going like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, Jamie.
If this podcast takes off and like people go back and listen to earlier episodes, I'm going to get so much fucking hate for this episode.
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts, Jamie?
Yeah, I think, you know, having a second vocalist kind of adds some variety in a sense. And I don't know, it was Quavo really like, I don't know, what's the word to use, auto-tuned or...
I don't think he was using auto-tune in this. I mean, at least not as much as Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I think he is in like when he's just like when he says money.
That one line stuck out.
I think he also says skirt a few times and gra. Is what it was like GRRRA.
Okay, so you had the ad libs.
I had the ad libs on my thing.
Yeah,
I think that was auto tuned, but like his parts himself doesn't sound like it's auto tuned, and that sounded better to me.
And
I think the auto tune is maybe what put me off a lot.
Yeah, I think they have like quite different sounding voices, so that brings a new element to it as well. So,
do we want to talk about any specific lyrical content?
Lyrics themselves, I don't know if there's anything that like I looked at and was like, man, what a powerful line.
Well, no, there isn't. I mean, obviously.
Feeling, I'm going to be honest, even reading the lyrics, I have no idea what the hell was going on in the first part. The second part, I think I understood the story they were trying to tell.
Right.
But like the first part was just like, I'm
Doing drugs.
Yeah, doing drugs and broke.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think that is.
Well, yeah. Well, now that you say that, the second part is more like now I've made it. Like he's like, oh, bought my mom a house, like
but
that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some consistency between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that that I mean, this I would describe this as like a trap song. That's like a subgenre of rap.
Like you have to set it on your turn and then you flip it up on your opponent's turn, like Mirror Force.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's for you Yu-Gi-Oh lovers out there.
Kyle, I'm always bringing the Yu-Gi-Oh references.
I watch so much Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, actually, I wanted to. This is a good prompt too. A lot of people describe Travis Scott's music as psychedelic trap. Did you get any psychedelic vibes from this?
No.
No.
When I think of psychedelic, I don't listen to a lot of psychedelic, but in my mind, it's almost like dreamlike.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I guess Myth would have been. Myth isn't psychedelic, but it's closer to psychedelic than this. This didn't feel like it was ethereal, like transporting me to a different reality or anything like that. It didn't feel like anything beyond this world. It just felt like it actually felt very material. This world, like I'm doing drugs and I've made money. It didn't feel anything beyond that.
I can see that, but I think I like a lot of the instrumentation in there. I like the guitar at the beginning.
Oh yeah, there is. Sorry, and the piano at the end.
and I like the piano, and I like the electric piano too at the very end. I think it's used. The real instruments are used sparingly, but I think they're tasteful, and I think that's what gives it that kind of psychedelic flavor, in my opinion. I mean, I could have picked more psychedelic Travis songs than this, but
I think also it might be because I don't know that like psychedelic would be the first thing that would come to my mind, but in comparison to other rap trap music,
it could be that.
It could be, and maybe that's why you don't get that, because that's not the type of music you listen to.
But the only rap I listen to is like Linkin Park.
Yeah, so like comparing it to all other music, like maybe it's not the most psychedelic thing, but comparing it just within that genre,
that's fair.
I think
that
you
would
could
make
probably
a lot
say
of sense.
that.
Yeah, like if I listen to a bunch of other, like
if you listen to Migos,
like
and then you listen to this,
I would that would make sense. That maybe I'm sure I'll be made to listen to other rap over the course of this podcast. I honestly I don't think I hate rap. I think I hate Travis Scott.
Okay, I'll make sure to put more Travis Scott.
Okay, I'll put more Billy Talent.
I don't mind Billy Talent. I don't like.
I'll just
I don't
bring
love the
Taylor
guy's voice.
Swift.
But. Real big fish. For any of you waiting for the ska month that we're gonna not do?
We're gonna not do.
Nobody would watch a ska month.
It would get very low listens.
It would.
But does anybody else have anything to say? Closing
I feel like I've been very negative. You're just
being honest.
Yeah. I do like that he has a song just called Pornography on this.
Yeah, that's the song before this one. This is the second track on.
When I look it up on Genius, it just says, you may also like pornography.
Yeah.
It's like maybe.
This, for some quick context, this is Travis's first full album. It's called Rodeo, and it's kind of regarded as probably like one of the best like trap albums of all time.
What is trap by definition?
Let me look up because I don't want to give like a wrong definition. I'll look up Wikipedia.
Just think like more like hard rap. Like I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't.
Was that hard?
I'm not like a rap expert by any means, but
trap is a subgenre of hip hop music that originated in the southern United States in the 1990s. The genre gets its name from the Atlanta slang word trap, a house used exclusively to sell drugs. Trap music uses synthesized drums and is characterized by complex hi-hat patterns, tuned kick drums with a long decay, originally from the Roland TR 808 drum machine, and lyrical content that often focuses on drug use and urban violence.
Okay, so it's music about doing drugs and...
That checks out.
Yeah, okay. That does make sense. So it's not necessarily even a...
But it also has to do with the music, too. The complex hi-hat patterns, tuned kick drums, and like the 808 bass.
I don't think a song could just like mention doing drugs and it would be
classified
as trap.
I
think there's different
It's like there's a few things that make
up
up country. Like there's certain instruments that have to be in it, and then there's also like certain themes kind of that go with it hand in hand. Not all of it, but obviously.
Right.
Like the most stereotypical and the most basic versions of those musics, those genres.
Anybody? Is that it?
Is anybody going to add that to the playlist?
I think I actually have this in my liked songs, to be honest, but already.
Well, you said you have Rodeo on vinyl, right? So,
Yeah.
do you have any other Travis albums or just this one?
No, not on vinyl, but
No. Okay, well, that was Oh My Decide by Travis Scott featuring Quavo. Thank you for joining us on Musical Musings, and we'll catch you next time.